Hello and welcome to another Learn Minecraft tutorial, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how you can code your own castle in Minecraft. So as you can see, to give you an example, here's I've got a super flat world that's completely empty, but if I go to my PowerShell, Python, mycastle.py, it should, there we go, it should make me a castle, which it's done. There you go. So there's my castle, a nice simple castle, 4 walls, 4 towers with crenellations. Obviously, once you've finished the tutorial, you can expand on that. You can add a keep in the center. You can add a moat around it, code a moat around it, or you could even code your own drawbridge in there, which I'll show you in a future tutorial. But there you go. So we're going to create our own castle. So let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is you need to have one or two things installed. Either you can use the Raspberry Pi version of Minecraft, so you can do that straight on the Pi, it's all installed, ready to rock. Or you can use the Windows version of Minecraft. But if you do use the Windows version of Minecraft, then you're going to need to install a bit more software. You're going to need to install something called Forge, which is a mod, and that will allow you to do and use the Raspberry Pi mod as well, Raspberry Jam mod. You install both of those, and then it'll allow you to code in Python here, and then run your programs here, and it'll affect the Minecraft world. I'll put a link in the bottom of the tutorial to the tutorial that I followed, a few steps to follow to install that. Okay, so once you've got that installed, assuming you got it installed, what you need to do is create a new single player world, create a new world, set it to creative for the moment, world type, put it super flat. You don't have to, it just makes it easier. Generate structures off. There we go, generate a new world. Good. Okay, so that's all done, which is great, it's brilliant. Now what you need to do is you need to create your file, which is going to be called, I'm going to call my castle2 because I've already got on my castle. So you need to create a new file called castle2.py or whatever you want to call it. Now, where do you create it? Well, on the Raspberry Pi, you can create it anywhere you like because it's all installed fully. On Windows, you've got to create that file in a special directory, and there it is: c:\users Richard. That'll be the name of your user. App data roaming .minecraft mcpy. So let me show you that. So file, save as. Let's just show you this PC. So you'd go to C drive, users, whatever your user is. Go down, find app data, roaming. This .minecraft folder, probably at the top. mcpy. There you go. Good. And I'm going to call it castle2. You can call it whatever you want. castle2.py. Make sure you save it as a py file. There you go. There you go. Now I'm using Notepad++. You can use idle. It doesn't make any difference. They all work fine. But I like Notepad++. So there you go. Good. Should have saved it as .py, castle2. And let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is we need to import the module that we're going to use, which is the mcpy Minecraft module. As a Minecraft. So you import the mcpy.minecraft module as Minecraft, and then you also import the mcpy stands for Minecraft Pi because it was originally written for the Raspberry Pi, and then install the blocks. The block module contains all the detail about the Minecraft blocks, the different types of block, like wool, stone, air, etc. So we're going to need that. So the first thing we always do is we test the connection between the Python code, which we're going to run here in the terminal, and the connection between there and the actual Minecraft world. So what we do is we do mc equals Minecraft.create, which creates a connection, and we do post to chat, and let's do welcome to my castle. There we go. So hopefully now when we run it, it will run and display in there. It will say welcome to my castle. Now how do we run it? Well, we need to open up a PowerShell here. The way you would do that is you'd go to the MCPPI folder once you've gone to the correct folder, and in this folder here, if you hold on to Shift and then right click, you will see something that says Open PowerShell window here. If you click on that, you'll pop up with a shell like that. Yours might be blue, but I changed mine to black to make it look more like the Linux version. So that's all done. Let's save that. So we save it there. Now, if you're using idle, you could just press F5 and run it straight away, but I'm using this setup here because it's more like the Linux version. So I type in Python space castle2.py, and that hopefully, there you go, you can see it there. Welcome to my castle. So we now know that Python is connecting through to the Minecraft world, which is great. Okay, so what do we want to do now? Well, what we need to do now is let's just create ourselves a now, because this is a super flat world. It's already flat anyway. But if you weren't using a super flat world, you're just using a normal world, then you might want to create yourself an empty area. So what I'll do here is I'll do mc.setBlocks, and we'll go from -100, 0, -100 to 100, 100, 100, and we'll set block.air. So what this does is that's the x coordinate of the start. That's the Y, that's the Z, and that's the X coordinate of the finish. That's the Y and the Z. So this is going to create as a huge cube from -100, 0, -100, right over here somewhere, to 100, 100, 100, which is going to be up there, a huge cube of air. In fact, actually, let me show you what it's going to create. Let me do it in stone first so you can see. It's really useful if you've not got a super flat world. Let's have a look. Welcome to my castle, and then hopefully now it will draw that. I've just done something wrong there. I thought I'd done something wrong there, but it turns out I haven't done anything wrong. Actually, I've now just locked myself inside of a huge cube, a massive cube, which is going to take me all day to get out. So I would try and dig my way out of here to show that it is actually creating that cube, but as you can see, I am now completely buried. So that's probably not a lot of use. So let's just go over here. Let's change that back to air. I should have done it in glass really, shouldn't I? There we go. And let's go back here again, press up and run it, do the code again. Hopefully now, if we give it a minute, it was obviously going a bit slow because it created a slightly too bigger area of stone. It should now replace all of my stone with air. Give it a minute. It's thinking about it. Maybe I made it a slightly large, too big a block. There you go. Okay, yeah. So that's all done. What I'll do instead, actually, let's just go from. Let's go here. Let's go. Where's 50? There you go. We'll do it 50 high and 50 along. So it won't take quite as long. Before it seems to be taking ages. So that should do it a lot quicker. There you go. So we created an area of air. Now what we want to do is we're going to have a go at creating our first tower. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to use this set blocks thing again. So we're going to go mc.setBlocks and we're going to create ourselves a tower. So let's start at 0, 0, 0. So X, Y, and Z. Now a quick word about 0 is the coordinates here, 0, 0, 0, X, Y, and Z. In the Minecraft world, you've got 3 coordinates. In fact, in any world, you've got X, Y, and Z. Now X is how far left and right you are. Y is how far up and down you are. There we go. So my Y will be increasing now. And then Z is how far deep you are. Okay. Now, obviously, if I turn around now, that's not going to work as it was before. But don't worry, you'll get used to it. You just need to know that those 3 coordinates there are the how far left and right, how far up and down and how deep you are into the world. So we're going to start, we're going to use the set blocks, which sets a cube of blocks out to a certain value. Start 0, 0, 0, and then we're going to go through to 10 across, 15 high, and 10 deep. And we're going to set it block.stone for the moment. You can use your own blocks. I'll put a link through to the manual where you can get a list of all the blocks. You can do whatever you want to do in wood or whatever you want to castle out of. But there you go. So now, if we save that, and then we run that, hopefully. In fact, I've already... there we are. In fact, what I will do here is let's do minus 50. This is going to take all day otherwise. Just make those a bit smaller. 50, 50, 50. There you go. That should save. That should run a bit quicker now. Let's have a go. So, there we go. That's a lot quicker that now, isn't it? So there you go. So now what has it done? It's created some air, and now it's created our first tower. Brilliant. So there's our tower, but at the moment it's missing the crenellations at the top. Now there is a, you could work out each individual coordinate, like here, 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 here. You could type in each and every single coordinate into there and put it all in there. And then do that. I'm going to do it because I'm lazy. I'm going to cheat and do a slightly different way. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to use a for loop. In fact, I'm going to use 2 for loops. Let's have a look for x in range. And let's go 0, 10. For y in range. Now, yeah. This will create a loop of x's between 0 and 10, and this will create a loop of y's between 0 and 10. Because x, oh not y's, so it's going to be z's, isn't it? Because we're going to have to do all of here and all of here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to use those there, and we're going to draw the crenellations on top. But what we need to do is here, this x coordinate is going to go like 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. We only want to do each odd number crenellation because otherwise it will just draw a whole solid thing. So we need to do the odd numbers. So if you imagine, let me just go a bit closer, let's show you this. Effectively we want like 1 or 0, actually 0, so each even number actually. And then we don't, we want to leave that to... So effectively, we're doing every other one like that. So we can use the odd number thing. And what we do is we say, okay, if the x, and this is how we do odd numbers and to check if it's an odd number. There we go. So actually, it's checking if it's an even number. So if the let's have a look. If the x number here is an even number, and if the z number is an even number, then what we'll do is we'll set a block. Oops, at that position of stone. So MC dot, that's okay. So we'll go x, we want one of the x coordinates. The y coordinate is going to be at the top, so it will be number, where is it at? Y there is 15, so up at the moment we're up to 15, so we're going to have to put that 16, and then z, there we go, and then let's have a look. And then that's okay. And then we'll do block.stone. So hopefully now that should get us somewhere nearer. Oops, and that needs to be indented. So it's going to look about like this. So if the x, so this gives a number between 0 and 10, this gives a number between 0 and 10, but it keeps going up. So it's going to go 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, etc. all the way up. If those numbers are both even, then we'll put a stone down. So let's just have a go at that and make sure it works. So look. Ah, yes, excellent. Okay, so it does work, as you can see there, but there's two problems. Number one, it's not done quite enough blocks, so we've missed out the last line of blocks there, so we can change that. So what we'll do here is we'll do that from that range of 10 isn't big enough. Let's go up to 12. Let's just try that again. Save that. Control S to save. There you go. So now we've got the full range of crenellations. But now what we need to do is we need to get rid of all of these middle bits here. So how do we do that? Well, we do mc.setBlocks. And this time, what we're going to do here is so start position will be before we started at 0, but it's going to be, we don't want to start at 0, 0 now. We want to start at here because we're going to delete it all there. So it's going to be from 1 across, 16 up, and then 1 deep, and then it's going to go through to range, which is 12. Oh no, it'll be 11, 16, 11, 16, 11, I think. And let's do block dot air. So hopefully what it should do now is set all the blocks from here to here in this square to air at that position. The good thing about this is that you can just run it and see if it works. Hey, okay, not too bad. Okay, so what we've done here, well, looks like, oh, not 11, is it? It's going to be 9. 9? I think that's maybe about right, not 11. Hey, there you go, good. So all the way from that point there through to that point there, 1 to 9, which is good. And then we'll do the next one, exactly the same copy as that pretty much, but we'll go 1 level down. Set blocks. So this time we're not going to start 1, 1, we're going to start at 2. But we're going to go down 1 to 15, start at 2, end at 8, again go down 1 to 15, and then end at 8 again. Save that, Control S, run it again. Oops. Oh, missed off the end of my, there you go, block. Oops. There. Let's try that. Hey, there you go. So now, what we've got here, let's have a look. That's pretty cool, isn't it? And there you go. So there's our first tower, which is quite cool. Maybe I ought to do that second level. Let's change this to... Let's put that to 15. Let's put that down to 14. Save that. Let's run that again. Oops. What have I done there? Yeah. 16. So that'll do the top 2 layers, hopefully. Yay, there you go. That's a bit more like it, isn't it? So now, there you go. So there we go. There we have a tower. You can hide behind your crenellations. You can look at all the baddies as they go appear because it's getting dark. I'll set that time in a minute. And that's all done. So there you go. So we've got a tower. That's a nice, easy tower. But we've got a problem now. Is that if we want to create another tower, we're going to have to go through this entire process here. All these blocks here, all these lines of code there. We're going to have to either type them all over again, or we're going to have to cut and paste them all over again, which you could do for Tower 2, Tower 3, Tower 4. But that's pretty inefficient. So what we really want to do is we want to get this code and we make it so that we can reuse this code. Well, how do we do that? Well, the easiest way to do it is to put it inside of a function. And let's call this define create tower. There you go. And that is now a reusable function. Now, if we want to run it, all we have to do after we've created it there is just put create tower. And that will run that tower function. So now, if we go over here, there you go. It's created that tower all over again. But we don't really want to be able to just create a tower in the same place. Okay, we really want to be able to create a tower in any place we want to and just give it a set of coordinates and say, you know what, I want you to create a tower at 20, 20, 20. I want you to create a tower at 15, 15, 15 or something like that. So we want to be able to create a tower anywhere. So how do we do that? Well, we need to use some input coordinates. So what we do here is in this entrance bit here, we're going to put TX, which stands for tower X, TY, which is going to stand for tower Y, and TZ, which stands for tower Z. And now all we need to do is we just need to, anywhere where we've got some coordinates, like here, 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 and here, what we need to do is we need to set these coordinates here to be relative to what these coordinates that we give it here at the start are. So, how do we do that? Well, what we do is we just put, in any of the x coordinates, we put tx plus 0. Any of the y coordinates, ty plus 0. Ty, put whatever it is. And we just change that to, basically, you're adding in these numbers here that we give it at the start. So, instead of being at 0, it's whatever we've told it to be at plus 0. Which actually, if it's plus 0, we might as well just get rid of the plus. But we'll leave it for the moment so you can see the idea. So again, we go right through tx plus 10, ty plus 10, tz plus 10. This is a really powerful technique. They're all the same. Now this one here is a little bit different. It's going to be tx plus whatever that x value is in this loop that we produce a loop of numbers. That's ty plus 16, tz plus... There you can see it all the way through. I mean, it's pretty simple stuff. You're just taking whatever it was. There we go. Let's do that again. tx. I'm just going to keep going through. tx. Be a bit sort of cheaty. ty. ty. tz. tz. tx. So just anything that was an x coordinate, we're replacing it with a tower x or tx. Ty, tz, tz. There you go. So now, hopefully, if I say create a tower at 0, 0, 0, it will, if I save it, run it. This is for the moment of truth. Make sure I've not broken it. Let's have a look. It should. I think that has just recreated that tower, hopefully. But the real proof is, if I just come here now, let's change this to 50, leave the y coordinate because I don't want it in the sky, 50, and now if I run it again, it's moved it. There you go, perfect. So it's now moved the tower to the position that I want it to be in. Which is great, but that's not the whole reason I did this. The reason I did this is because what I really want to be doing here is creating 4 towers at different positions. So I'm going to go 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 50, 50, 0, 0, and then 50, 50. So that hopefully, if we save that now, we'll create 4 towers in a square. There we go. Perfect. So that's the beauty of coding. I mean, that literally is done. That's creating me 4 towers instantly for all not much more work than doing just 1 tower. Good. Sorted. So there's my tower. The tower is now sorted. Now what I need to do is I need to do my crenellations, my walls. So how do we do that? Well, let's just move these, let's just tidy those up a bit so we've got a bit more space. There, creating our 4 towers. So now what we're going to do is we're going to need to create a bit of a function that creates our walls. So, so how are we going to do the walls? Well, there's two types of walls. We can do a wall that goes along the x, which is left to right, or we can go the x plane, so the left to right plane, or we can do a wall that goes along the z plane, which is that way. Okay, so we're going to need to create something that creates one of 2, but it doesn't really matter too much. So what we're doing now is let's create something. Draw. Let's do another function. Draw a wall again because we're going to want to reuse. But this time it's going to have the X, the Y, and the Z of where it starts. But it's going to have two more parameters. First of all, we're going to have to put in how long we want the wall. And then second of all, the plane on which the wall is going to exist. Is it going to be a X along the X-axis or along the Z-axis? So let's have a look. If the plane equals X, then what we're going to do is we'll do MC dot set blocks, and we'll draw the wall starting at the X, Y, Z, and then it's going to finish at, if it's the X axis, it's going to be the X plus whatever the length is. So that's okay. So if it's a 50, if it starts at X0 and it's a 50 long X wall, then it's going to finish at 50. So Y, it's going to finish, this is going to be the height of the wall, Y plus 10, so it's a 10 high wall. And then that's okay. And the Z, there we are, which is the Z, there we are. So, which is the Z. That'll just be whatever the Z is again, however deep it is. And then block dot stone. So, oops, that needs to be indented. So hopefully now, let's here, if we create, after we create the tower, let's, if I'll do it before the tower, let's create a wall. Oh, oops. Draw a wall, and let's go 0, 0, 0, length 30, and it's going to go along the X-axis. Make sure that's in speech marks. Hopefully now it will draw a wall somewhere. I don't actually know where. Let's find out. Hey, there it is. Let's have a look at that. Let's see how far we are. Oh, oops. So, let's have a look at that. That's not too bad, actually. That's not too bad. So it'll need to be a little bit longer. Do I want it to? Do I want the Z value to be there, or maybe a bit more? I'm going to put the. I'll put the wall in the middle, actually. So let's put it at 50, and the Z axis I think will have to be. Let's try 5. Maybe that will put it in the middle. I don't actually know. That's a good thing about coding. I'll just play with it. Look at that. Perfect. So now what we've got here is we've got one of the walls done, which is good. One of the walls there is done. Could probably do again with crenellations on the wall itself. So we're going to do something similar to what we did before. So for I in range, a little bit easier this time. For I in range, whatever the length is, +1 maybe, because it didn't do enough last time. For I in the range length, if I, where's that thing gone to 0, so it's an odd number. MC.set block x plus I, so it's whatever the x coordinate is plus I, because it's going to have to keep going along. The y is going to have to be at the top, so it's going to be up, y plus 10 I think, is that right? I don't know. The z is going to be the same as the z depth, and then we'll do block dot air. So hopefully that will now replace, it'll go along and it'll just get rid of some of those bits to make some crenellations, I hope. Hey, perfect. Done. Good. So now we've got an x coordinate wall there that is working, one of them. And in fact, actually, there you go. You could now, I could do both of those walls, can't I? Those x walls, because it's already working there. So we'll just take that x there, cut and paste that. But this time, it's the x coordinate is right, isn't it? It starts the right x, but the z coordinate is no good. So what about 45? I wonder if that will do it. Let's have a look. So now I've got another wall that should hopefully start here. Again, I don't always know. I just have a play. Ah, that's not too bad, is it? It's getting there. 45 is no good. Maybe 55 is probably where we want to be. Again, let's save that. Perfect, good. So now I've got 2 walls, which is great. Now all I need to do is I need to change it. I need to do the Z axis walls like that. So how are we going to do that? Well, what we'll do here is we'll just copy this code here. There we are. Make sure that that's indented in line with that one. If the plane is Z, MC. Now this time it needs to be slightly different, because this time, yes, it's going to start at the same position. This time it's not going to be the X plus length, it's going to be the Z plus length, because it's going to go along the Z, which is good. That's okay. And this time it's not going to be X plus I, it's going to be Z plus I. Good. So hopefully now I should be able to add another one here. Let's start with the first one like we did with the X one. Let's put Z. Let's see what happens with that. Again, I just try it. Save that. Hey, perfect. Is that going the right place? Or is that a little bit too much? So let's look at the Z axis. So it's gone to 0. So we need to change the not the Z. It's going to be, the X is going to have to start a bit more, isn't it? I think that's actually going to be a 0. I think. Let's try that. Hey, perfect. So there you go. So now we've got draw wall there, and then we'll draw another wall, and this time we'll start at 0. I think on the X. Or will it? No, 55, isn't it? Yeah, I think that'll work. Actually, 55 on the X. So these come right across to there. Hey, there you go. Brilliant. Perfect. So there you go. There is how you create a simple, a basic style for a design for a castle. And the castle's got 4 towers there, and it's got walls. Obviously, the code I've used there, here, this code. Let's just show you. You can adapt this code. You can have an 8-towered castle. What you could do as well is, if you want to change the height of the towers or the height of the walls, that's quite easy. You just need another input parameter here, comma, call it height. Another input parameter there, call it height. And then you'd have to set it so that on the Y coordinate here, it wouldn't be Y plus 10, it would be Y plus height. So anywhere where you've got Y plus 10, you'd do Y plus height, and you'd have to add another input parameter here to do that. In fact, let me show you on the wall. Let me give you a quick 2-minute demo of that. So length, plane, let's add it at the end, height, there we go. So we need to give it a height at the end. And then here, now what we do is, where it says Y plus 10, that'd be Y plus height. And then, that's okay. That'd be Y plus height. That'd be Y plus height. And that'd be Y plus height. That's okay. So now what you'd have to do is, let me just show you, you'd have to put the, 37. Let's have a look. So I've done 4 walls of 4 different heights now. Let's see if that actually works. There you go, you can see it. So now, here you go. All these walls are of completely different heights, and we've already adapted it. That 30 looks a bit ridiculous. So let's just take this down to 12 for each of them. But then, because you've now got that code, you could then use that for building a big castle. There you go. So that works perfectly. You could apply exactly the same technique for you creating the towers. Add another variable here called, in fact, let's do that now. We've got a minute or so. Let's call that height. There we go. And there you go. So height. And now it would be any Y coordinate will not be plus 0. It would be plus, oh no, that would be 0 at the start, won't it? But up here, the Y coordinate would be plus height. And then, is this the crenellations bit? Was the Y coordinate plus... oh, actually, let's have a quick look. So that one there was plus 15. So if that's plus height, that's going to have to be plus height plus 1. Because you're going to go 1 above the height. And again, ty plus height plus 1. think this is right. Anyway, I don't really know. 2y plus height plus 1. So, oh no. Oh, so what was that one? 14, so that'll be plus height minus 1. Maybe. Let's have a look. So let's say, how high was those? Let's do 20. Let's try 20. So, 20, 20, create tower, 20, 20, 20, 20. So hopefully now, hey, there you go. So now I can create towers of different heights as well. Let's just check that and make sure. So now actually you've got quite a powerful little castle builder. You could use this to draw loads of walls, different lengths, different heights, loads of towers, different lengths, different heights, and there you go. So there it is. Have a go. Try creating a keep in the middle. Try making it larger. Try adapting the tower so you can do a new one called create keep instead. Change the numbers so it does a bigger tower. Add some fancy things. See if you can use the set blocks to create a drawbridge. And see if you can use the set blocks to create a moat around the edge. I think blocks stop water. In fact, let me give you a quick start. You're probably going to want something on the lines of. In fact, no, I'll leave you to it. I'll put a link in the. I'll put a link in the comments to the actual manual that I use with all the instructions and a link to the different page, etc. There you go. Good luck. Any questions? Just drop me a comment in the comments on YouTube. And if you have any problems, just drop me a comment. Do subscribe if you like it. I will be adding more videos doing more complicated things. Excellent. Thank you very much.